Good evening. I have been working on a personal project for a little bit, not too long. It's kind of been on and off, but as you can see behind me, I've been working on a modded sort of Minecraft Bikini Bottom doohickey. Pretty much, I'm just recreating the Bikini Bottom as lore accurate as I can get it, but in Minecraft, I'm using a lot of mods for this. Like actually not too much, maybe like 60 mods. But the mod that was most important to me, and the kind of the reason I started this in the first place, was immersive portals. Because with this, you can make non-Euclidean geometry much easier with it. And I thought, hey, a lot of houses in SpongeBob are very non-Euclidean. Why not, experiment with immersive portals and, make a really cool building project. I just want to be clear though, I'm not a master builder in any sense of the way. I just thought, hey, screw it. Just do it. No. Ain't no reason for it. Anyways, I'm just gonna show you the progress I've had so far. It's not much. Before I do though, I just want to inform you that I'm using a Bikini Bottom map that I saw on Reddit a while ago. That was like highly detailed, watching multiple episodes. I'll put a picture of it up, showing you what I'm kind of basing this all off of. And, that's pretty much it, really. I'm gonna showcase the 5 buildings I have so far. You can see from a distance, the other two is the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket. Anyways, this is Patrick's good old home. Nice center view of the rock. I'm just going to inform you now, most of my knowledge of SpongeBob comes from the first couple of seasons and the first 2 movies. So any additional context, lore, episodes, jokes, that comes from, like, I want to say seasons 5 and over? Probably won't be included in these builds. Like, for me, this is a rock, not a turtle shell like it was later on in the seasons. Anyways, let's go inside. Beautiful. So Patrick's house, he's the smallest one here. It's the easiest one to do since it's mostly just one room. And of course, you have the chair he sits on, watches TV. He got his 2 a.m. Krabby Patty.
What a stupid idea! Who wants a Krabby Patty at 3 in the morning?
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
As well as that butt flexor he uses. Over here, it's had to put a kitchen. I know in some episodes he has another room here, I believe. The episode where he's like his fake parents come by, SpongeBob goes into this room talking to himself because he's getting pissed off that they all making fun of him. I just cannot remember if it was a kitchen or not. I decided to make it into one just because I feel like he needed a kitchen. I also put an extra room here being a storage closet just to fit in with the whole kitchen vibe. It's also where I put the bathroom. Again, doesn't exist, I just wanted to add it in here just to add more rooms to Patrick's house. Also, another thing with his house, I know sometimes when he opens it, it's just a flat, like just 1 block flat down. That makes sense. There's no way for me to do that, realistically. So I just thought, just keep it deep down, because more often than not, it is the deeper intrusion of the ground than it is just the small, like, 1 flat plane on it. Anyways, for his backyard, it's, what is it, season 1, episode, I want to say it's below 5, that I based all the backyards on. I'll put a picture reference while I'm going through these literals of them. Anyways, he has his oven and his 2 trash cans I put over here. And that's pretty much it for Patrick's house. It's really not much going on. It was the simplest of the builds, and I believe it was the first one I did. I can't remember. I think it was the first one I did. It might have been SpongeBob's. Yeah, I think it did SpongeBob's, Patrick's, then it did Squidward's. Speaking of which, let's go to his house. So with Squidward's house, his backyard, he doesn't have much one. I just put the chair and the cake, the one he chokes on the fork. But something I decided to add with Squidward's house is actually something from the concept art of the early, before he was called SpongeBob, where Squidward's house used to have like actual grass and moss surrounding it, as well as bamboo strikes, which technically appeared in the first episode of the show, but never returned. I guess, you know, it was easier to animate it without. Besides bring it back as well, the lusciousness, just because it adds a lot more vibe to it as well. Anyways, go inside his house, as you can see. It's, I want to say, probably the most accurate thing I'd build here. Genuinely, I got almost everything correct. There's not too many references in Squidward's house that I've placed in so far. I'm gonna add some later. Anyways, when we go through here, this room tip, from my understanding, never appears in the show, but I needed a easy way to go from floor 1 into floor 2. In floor 2, I'm going to go over here. There is a few scenes where this hallway appears. Again, I'll put a picture up. I think it's in this angle, or maybe from this angle, actually. Can't remember. But if I go through here, I decided to just make this a storage closet because I couldn't find any other room that I think would fit here. As I said, I might be missing. If there's something I am missing, I'll, you know, let me know. I decided to put a coffin here. Yeah, you know, I'll just post a picture up if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways. Here I just put another storage closet. As I said, these are just temporary rooms. If there is like evidence that important stuff goes here, I will change it later. Just as of now, I just don't know what to put here. Anyways, for the next part of it is his bedroom. Now his bedroom's a weird conundrum because it's both on the second floor and the first floor. Because in the earlier seasons of SpongeBob, if you remember, when I think the first episode Plankton was introduced, SpongeBob broke into Squidward's house on the first floor, yet the bedroom, spectator, is on the second. Because there's a window here that he watches SpongeBob when they're both exhausted heavily. So it's both on the first and the second. Probably wondering how it did this. Again, immersive portals. The window is a portal, the actual room is on the first floor of the house. So if, you know, if someone was to recreate the scene of Plankton, they would actually be able to go through the first floor, break into the bedroom, and then break out the other way.
SpongeBob, what are you doing? I'm talking to you! SpongeBob? SpongeBob? Are you mad?
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
Now, I will note, it is in the wrong orientation, and it looks really weird. But for spacing reasons, I just decided to leave it like that. Speaking of which, I also checked in his closet. That's the word I'm looking for. From the other episodes. Over here, I believe this is his bathroom. Yeah, this appears a few times. Nothing much, mostly just the bath he's in. You know, facing out the window. Not much going on here. There's a mirror that I swear I put here, but must have gotten deleted by accident. Anyways, the most important part of the house, I'd say, and the most recognizable, this keeps changing for some reason. I don't know why. Now, this is the most important part of the house, I'd say. You know, this is the most recognizable, appears the most, it's very well known, and there's a few two references I've put in here. Of course, you have, you know, the classic Squidward painting that everyone loves and knows, and then you have melted Squidward. Anyways, yeah, for the most part, that's Squidward's house. Again, a really simple build. Again, a bit convoluted with the whole bedroom, first, second floor thingamajig. SpongeBob's house has probably been the hardest one I've had to done so far. Purely because his house is a conundrum of inaccuracies, and so the easiest part of this was the living room. It's not hard to screw up SpongeBob's living room. It's, you know, very empty, very simple. There's a window out here. He has a couple of rooms. His trophy closet. His garage. Which is also, you know, I'll pop, again, reference images to show what I'm basing these off of. The kitchen, again, nothing crazy. You know, very simple, very nice. You have, of course, the glass, you know, the Sunday. as well as just an extra cabinet or drawer I put here, and a closet, an extra closet I put here, just for spacing, just to add something. But yeah, this is for the most part, again, really accurate. Now the second floor is where things got really weird for me. Because again, we know this staircase. It's appeared in every episode. That has it, right? The second floor doesn't exist. At least how to get into the other rooms. And it wasn't, doesn't really make sense if I start off in the bedroom. Because then how am I going to get to the other rooms, by the way? Employee of the month, employee of the year, consecutive amount of times. Also Gary's Bowl, sleeping rounds. Because the other rooms exist, like the library and the training room. Again, popping up images. I'd say I did a pretty good job. As well included, yeah, this half is very more modern-y because they brought, the workout room popped up once and it was just this. Then they added this other stuff, but this treadmill, I believe, goes over here. Other than that, another weird, oh wow, that's actually quite nice. This in Horizons works with immersive portals, and that's actually really cool. Anyways, again, his bath? Is this a portal? No. What is going? That might be Create. Create has some, yeah, that's Create. That's, okay. Anyways, again, is this the same? No, it's not the same window. This window's, again, slightly lower if I go outside, but it's on the same level as the bedroom. Like, there's no staircase and nothing. So, again, really weird stuff for this house. And then you got, the closet where he keeps all his shirts and whatnot, and the long, tan and handsome suit. And then you got the library. This went through multiple renovations, and even then I'm not entirely satisfied with it. It looks really accurate, from what I can show and seen, but I feel like I could have done more with it, especially with the slide that appears, which I believe the slide leads, yeah, it leads over here. Which again, more weird non-Euclidean. There's not one case of you going up a floor into the library this way, but you have to go up a slide to get in over here. Again, weirdness, I know. As I said, so I was trying to put a reference here of, the ugly episode. Was it the ugly episode? It was. Ooh, I should put a chiseled bookshelf here that has the ugly barnacle story on it. Gotta remember that. Anyways, if we go up here, it's just an attic. I know an attic has appeared in an episode, I just cannot find it at all. Maybe someone else can find it for me, but I just put this here just for the time being because I cannot find anything else that shows SpongeBob's attic. But I feel like I've seen he has one before. Anyways, go up here. It leads back to his actual roof, which has the classic.
I'm ugly.
You're ugly and what?
Square?
No, proud.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Good. Say it louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. I am ugly and I'm proud. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Is that what he calls it?
Yeah. Anyways, little fun fact. The only room that's actually in the house itself is the garage. With a little bit of creativeness with it, because you can actually open and close the garage door. Anyways, now that we've gone over the three main Buckaroo's houses, let's go to the Krusty Krab, which was actually fairly simple build for the most part. My only issue with it, the way I built it, was in my opinion, I built it a little too big. I've built the Krusty Krab before in another personal world of mine, non-modded, and it was smaller, and I prefer that smaller one, but again, it's nothing crazy wrong with it, I just preferred it a little bit smaller. Anyways, yeah, we got, again, a lot of accuracy. I tried my best with it. Got the inside, all the dining tables and whatnot. I just tried my hardest to get, like, the actual design of all the miscellaneous items over here accurate as possible. I probably screwed up at some point and gave up. I wouldn't be surprised. You got the drive-through window, which is here. The only thing that I'm missing, and I was going to add it before I recorded the video, was the actual menu that hangs down and is over here. I have it for the Chum Bucket, which is still a work in progress, but I am missing that and probably add it later. Anyways, we have Krab's office. Again, slightly bigger than it is on the show, but, you know, sometimes the size changes, so, again, nothing too crazy. You do have the secret formula vault. Decided not to put anything in there yet, because I'm still tinkering with the Krusty Krab. And in case I have to move something, I can just do it without worrying about items in there. But yeah, he has the chest, table and whatnot, books and whatnot, and as accurate as I could possibly get it. And now we have the kitchen, which I'll put a reference image. I'd say this was a hard one for me. Because of the walls, there was a lot of... I used a lot of other references of people building the Krusty Krab, but I couldn't decide which walls I liked and didn't like, just stuck with my gut, which ended up with the copper. And that works out well, for now at least. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, here we have the freezer. Now, the freezer has appeared in multiple episodes, in different sizes, in different lengths, with different things in it. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it like this, very simplistic. Purely because, I don't know, I can't remember the other parts that actually go in here for the most part. Like, I know it's bigger, and then it changes, there's the statue and the sculpture, and then you got the alien thing that goes in here once in a while, I think. But I'm gonna say that later. Also, I believe the actual door for the freezer is here, but I forgot that midway building it, so now it's here, even though I'm pretty sure it should be here. But actually, I might be wrong. I might actually supposed to... I'll have to check again. Anyways, before we go into that door, I want to do the bathroom real quick. Again, the bathroom, nothing crazy, nothing much, very simple, as accurate as I could possibly get it. As I said before, I'm not a master builder, I'm not great, I just wanted to, you know, do my best at this. I think I did a pretty good job, you know, you got the shelves, the actual curtain, you know, toilets. I was gonna add a reference in one of these bathrooms, I just couldn't decide on what. Anyways, over here we have the storage room. Now, the weird thing about the storage room is that it only appears, like, twice. Once is Robo-Crabs, you know, Plankton interested in Robo-Crabs, hides over here, and Squidward comes in checking and whatnot, right? And then it appears technically again, but entirely different. It's the trash room instead, which I believe Krabs is giving Patrick a job, which is throwing in trashes, but he threw in too much and it causes the whole thing to explode. I could be wrong about some of that, but I actually did implement, like, if I open this, check the chests, there's actual trash here. Wow, it's actually string. It actually dumped in sacks in here, and it became string when crushed. It's actually cool. But yeah, as I said, I tried my hardest to be as accurate as possible with this room, so I just merged them together, which makes sense, you know, think about it. If you have old expired stuff you want to get rid of, just dump it to the room next. Feels something cheap Krabs would do, wouldn't it? It's supposed to look like that. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't do something stupid over there. You see it. We both see it, you know? One wrong move and... oh. Anyways. Again, another reference over here to the Halloween episode where SpongeBob pretends to be the Flying Dutchman and then gets his ass rocked because Patrick got stunned by a fish and started running around. Also, another reference I included right below it is the boots.
I'm sorry, but I can't take the infernal squeaking no more! The deed is done.
Now, the Chum Bucket. Chum Bucket, again, I just finished building it. It's not 100% there. It's more like a sketch of something I am planning to change. And maybe even the, how the letters look. But the only room I've actually done for the Chum Bucket so far is the front entrance, and I've used mostly Create blocks for it. You know, you got the pipage and whatnot, you got the orders and the actual kitchen, which I probably can actually fit the kitchen here, yeah. with no non-Euclidean needed. I know for when I do Karen's room, the big laboratory, I'm gonna use the non-Euclidean stuff, like the portals. But for the most part, I think I'm fine without them. Excuse me. I think for the most part, the Chum Bucket is the least non-Euclidean here. I know for the theater room with the dog, again, same episode where he breaks into the Squidward's first floor, comes over here. I know for that there's the big theater room with the dog and whatnot, so that I do want to include later. Which is probably going to take some non-Euclidean-ness to do that. But, yeah, I just wanted to make this video to show off what I'm doing in the meantime while things are going on, while I'm doing other videos with my friends. If you want to see this happen more and make it into maybe a mini-series where I get ideas from y'all and then we plan this out, maybe get suggestions on building methods, I actually kind of like that. Be a nice collaborative effort from other people and whatnot. And I think I'm going to end it here, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. See y'all.